welcome back to another weekly edition of Timeout Talks, which is brought to you by Chase and Thrills Custom T-shirts and accessories, sponsored by the Ice Shaker and sponsored by Make It Mac. You guys can buy your custom Timeout Talks apparel at www.chaseandthrills.com, and don't forget to purchase your Ice Shakers at www.iceshaker.com. Don't be like Jose. Put in our discount code Timeout Talks. I mean, Jose, you could have got the 15% off, Jose. He didn't put it in, Ben. And yeah, so you got to get that. You got to get that 15% off with us. But we're off. We're rolling. We've got a lot to talk about. I want to talk about those Buffalo Bills. Oh, Buffalo. I can't, like, I know they have their whole song, like, hey, and that's just the one thing I think in my head is just, Buffalo.
They got a bunch.
We've got a lot to talk about this week. Texans rolling, Cowboys soaring, which a lot of people thought was a fake win. We've got your New England Patriots again. I mean, they're eyeing a top 3 draft pick. UFC 295 recap, which we'll talk a little bit about. Bruins and Celtics we'll get to quickly. And always, we will have our locks and predictions, upsets, bunch of other stuff later on in the show. But Ben, man, oh man, is it... I mean, I feel like we have to talk about the Buffalo Bills to start the show. The game was yesterday. Oh, yeah. It's pure panic and chaos if you are Jared or you are a Buffalo Bills fan.
Yeah, Josh, I'm kind of curious. I want to hear from Jared right now. I know he said a bunch in the group chat. I know I've saw it's a little too much to read. You know, after his loss like that, Jared's going to take some heat. So he's been taking it. He's been, I think he's been taking it well so far. So I can't yell at him for that. But that was just, even if they didn't get that 12-win, Josh, they didn't deserve to win that. You know, it was looking like they were going to get that win, sneak a win out. Even sneaking it, they just didn't deserve it. Ever since that start of the game, just James Cook fumbling it. Way to blow my fantasy game too. Thanks, James Cook. A little sidebar. It was a bunch of sidebars for me with this game. Huge fantasy implications, but I was a big proponent of the Bills, Josh, and kind of making me look foolish. I think they're done. I think it's over. I think the AFC is just too stacked right now. We've talked about this Pats loss, which is just looking even worse now after this Colts game. How do you lose to a Pats team and can't even score a touchdown, Germany? Yeah, it was just awful. Awful for the Pats. Awful for the Bills. Just the Bills are done. Bills are done. There's no other. Now we're even considering maybe even Herbert over Josh Allen. I mean, you know, I bet everyone knows it. Yeah, I've been a big Josh Allen guy in comparison to Big Ben and everything, but just like Big Ben, I mean, the turnovers are just catching up to him. You know, Ben had his own issues with that. And Josh Allen, he's just not making enough dynamic plays to, overturn those turnovers, just counteract it. And it's cost them these games. I don't know what he's doing at the end of the first half, just giving the Broncos that free field goal, basically. It's just tough to see because he is a great quarterback, but he's just got to get these turnovers down, Josh. It's rough. And sorry, Jared. Well, actually, I'm really not that sorry, Josh, to be quite frank with you and everyone else. But I guess I'll say I'm sorry, Jared and Bills fans, but it's over. AFC's just too big, too stacked right now. I think they're done, Josh. It makes me look bad. I never liked that.
I mean, I don't know. Last week, I was on here and was talking about how, I feel like I'm kind of just like I can't even speak because at home, that was my lock of the week. They're in Buffalo. It's the get right game. Things just haven't been going well against a very weird Broncos team. I know. And again, before we get to Buffalo, tip of the cap to them. I know they're under 500 right now, and just the whole Russell Wilson / Sean Payton regime, that whole, their whole regime, their partnership just hasn't really panned out to what we thought it would be. But they're slowly coming together here. They've beaten the Chiefs. They've beaten the Bills now, or they used to be the big bad Bills. So, I mean, tip of the cap to the Broncos. They're doing what they can to scrap out some wins. They're going on the road. They're doing what they have to do to stay relevant in the AFC, the big bad AFC, which is very jam-packed. I mean, Even the Chargers, like that's another team. I know you talk about Justin Herbert, like they're looking in right now. The Raiders are somehow 5-5. Like I don't know. It's very very close in the AFC and very tough right now. And just taking a step back over here to the Buffalo Bills, it's full blown panic time. If there was a moment for me to say "I told you so" on the Stephon Diggs being gone and that just looking more and more like a possibility for him to, pack his bags and go, that's going to happen. This is the final year in Buffalo unless they can somehow go all the way to the Super Bowl. They would have to like win the Super Bowl for that. And as you mentioned, Ben, it's looking grim for them to make the playoffs. I still have a little bit of hope. I'm not as down as you are. I think I'm just confused. I look at this team, you see Josh Allen, you see Gabe Davis, you see like all these guys, James Cook, they went out and got Latavius Murray, who's been great. I know that they're hurting without Matt Milano and Tre'Davious White, and they've had a lot of key players go down defensively, but you got better. You in the draft, you got Dalton Kincaid. I don't know. Like, I mean, you look at this Buffalo Bills team compared to last year on paper, and I know James has talked about they're the oldest team in the NFL, but aside from the age, like they still have a very talented team. They should not be 5-5 right now. That's a very winnable game against the Broncos, and I know I started off by giving them a little tip of the cap there. But I don't know what's going on. I mean, it reminds me of the Dak Prescott stuff last year for Josh Allen. He's just like in this weird funk where every ball he throws, you're like, oh no. Like literally every single ball is like a, oh boy, like that's a risky throw. And it's definitely panic time in Buffalo. I'm going to come with a hot take here and tell you guys that I think the Buffalo Bills, what feels like a hot take right now, I feel like the Buffalo Bills will still make it to the playoffs. I think it's time to push that red panic button, but I think it's time to push the red panic button on the long-term future, the long-term booking for my WWE fans and my wrestling fans who watch. The long-term booking is not looking good for Buffalo. You've got the guys aging. Josh Allen on that big contract. He's getting older and older every day, taking more and more hits every day. Stephon Diggs is getting older and older every day. I think they have enough. In my personal, not that it even matters and that they're even listening to this podcast, but my personal challenge for them is just getting to the playoffs. Because if they get in the playoffs, they're a team you don't want to see. I don't care what anybody has to say. You don't want to see the Buffalo Bills in the playoffs. Just on paper, whatever. They do have a very tough gauntlet coming up. They still have to play the Cowboys. They still have to play the Eagles. They've got a couple other games sprinkled in there that I'm not sure. I don't know their whole schedule there. But they still have the two top dogs in the NFC East. It's tough. But they can do it. It just all starts with Josh Allen. He needs to get that swagger back. Hopefully getting rid of Dorsey, Joe Brady. I know he's had some success over there for LSU. Shout out Dylan. Hopefully he can revitalize them. I'm hearing Matt Milano might have a chance to be back. So, I mean, there's some light in the tunnel at the end of that tunnel, but it's put up or shut up time right now. And if you are not a Buffalo Bills fan, you're laughing. If you're James, you're all those New England Patriots fans that we have in our chats. You're Jeff, you're Jose. I mean, they're turning into a laughingstock here because they've regressed since that 14-second Mahomes comeback. It's pure chaos. I think they can find a light at the end of the tunnel. I think they'll make the playoffs. I do, because I value them higher than teams like the Texans. And I know people are, Texans will probably win their division, but I'm not done with the Bills yet. I know it's pushed the panic time, and it definitely is in terms of the long term, but I do think they're going to make the playoffs, and I still will stick with the fact that Stephon Diggs will not be a Buffalo Bill by the end of this year, but they will make the playoffs. In my gut, I can't see them missing the playoffs. I don't know. I mean, they're hovering right around that right now. While you were talking, Ben, I was trying to pull up a live standings picture and try to put it on the screen for you guys. Couldn't find that. But right now, let's take a quick look at this playoff picture. You look at the AFC and the conference. The Buffalo Bills are sitting at 10 right now, tied for 10. I mean, they've got the Raiders, they've got the Bengals ahead of them, the Texans, the Colts as well. It's tough right now if you're a Buffalo Bills fan. I'll leave it with this. I think they can find a way in. Their next matchup, don't know who that is. I'll figure that out
Bills.
in a second. The Bill. Oh, the Jets. They've got a
Yes.
huge matchup there. I say huge because
Two
the
awful
Jets
offenses. That's really
two
two offenses.
awful offenses right now, and that's huge because the Jets have already beaten them and the division, and the Jets are like somehow also lingering still for like a late like in the hunt spot right now. So I think they'll win this week. I think they'll get back. I believe this game's at home for the Bills as well. But I mean, it's if you're Jared right now, you're definitely got your tails tucked between your legs because at the very best, you're looking at a wild card or maybe you can keep pace with Miami. I mean, that's like the best case scenario. Miami still has a couple tough matchups down their road too. They still got to play us. They still got to play a couple other teams as well. But Ben, boy oh boy, did I not see that coming yesterday.
Man, I like how you slipped in the Texans division winner too. Let's we gotta back up on that. We'll look at that one again, Josh. I like how you slipped that in there. I love the Texans. I love what Stroud's doing over there, obviously, but Colts are 5-5 too, and can't forget about those Jags. I know they got embarrassed by the 49ers, but so do we. And so do most teams, over here. Actually, all three of us, Cowboys, Steelers, and, Jaguars, all got embarrassed by the Niners. That's, one of the best. So I wanted to see Trevor do a little better than Josh, but, I can't really, especially at home, but I can't give him too much stuff. I mean, Chase Young being on that team now, having Chase Young and Bosa coming at you from both sides, it's a scary duo over there. Get some of the chats too. Aaron, I think, talking to Josh over there. Nelson, don't worry.
Aaron's here. Yep, yep.
Aaron's here. Aaron's here. Don't worry, Nelson. We'll get to Mac in a second. We'll get to right after him. I know Panthers fans want to talk about that game in Germany, talk about Mac. Uh, Zappy Mania. I meant to say that after too, because we got a little Zappy talk as well. But Nick DeVos bringing them too. They got Kansas City. That's a tough schedule for the Bills. So, yeah, I differ a little on Josh in this one. I think Diggs is going to be back. I think he's gonna be back, but I agree with Jared and some of the other guys. I saw a little in the chat, but Gabe Davis is gone. All these other side pieces are gone. They're gonna have to restart this offense. Whole new scheme, get rid of all these other side guys, bring some other pieces in. I don't think you can get rid of Diggs. Kincaid's looking like a nice little piece. He's looking like a good draft pick so far. I think he's going to be valuable members to that offense going forward. Nice little safety blanket for Josh Allen. So, I mean, you got those two pieces. Keep Diggs and just I think just going to have a full reboot, though. They're going to have to get everything else. I don't know if they're going to stick with James Cook. I know he bounced back in that one, but I don't know. They've seen them sit him a couple times. I don't know if that's just their philosophy over there. I just don't know. It's tough to be a running back in that offense, but I think they're done. I differ again with Josh on that one. I think it's over for them. The AFC's too stacked, as Josh mentioned as well. I mean, he's still got the Jets lingering around. It was a tough Raiders loss. Raiders kind of put themselves in there, but I mean, you just got a ton of 5-5 teams: Raiders, Colts, uh, Browns 6-3, Steelers 6-3 over there. Playoff picture: Texans 5-5 too. Just to name another one. It's a crowded AFC this year, and I think the Bills losing this game, especially this game to the Broncos, that everyone at home thought it was going to be the money one, bounce back game for sure. Pile that up with the Patriots loss and some of these other weird losses, I think they're just going to find themselves out of it. So yeah, Nick DeVos bringing up, yeah, they fired the offensive coordinator, yeah, as we touched on that one. But yeah, they're just going to have to get a whole new scheme over there, and I say just get ready for next year. Sorry, Jared, but I think just get ready for next year. Still got Allen, still got some nice pieces, but that defense is just too injured right now as well, Josh. That the defense just tough injuries. I know we mentioned Milano coming back, but I think just too many injuries for them to overcome this year. So Bills are out, Josh. I got the Bills out.
And to Ben's point here, they've got the New York Jets this week, the Philadelphia Eagle on the road for the Eagles, bye week, some time to recoup. I mean, that would probably be a good time for that. At the Chiefs after the bye week, then they got to play Dallas, at the Chargers, at New England. I mean, versus New England, excuse me, at Miami Dolphins. So they definitely have some pretty tough games down the line for them. And as Ben mentioned, I mean, it's going to be it very well could be within the next 3 weeks. The Buffalo Bills looking at next year, flipping the page there to next year. That could be something that they focus on. I'm not completely out yet. I do think it is time to panic overall in the grand scheme of things.
Right.
And hey, me and Ben don't agree on the playoffs, and we don't agree on Stephon Diggs. I think Stephon Diggs is out of there if they do not, if they do not hoist a Lombardi trophy. He's gone. I'm telling you, he's gone. Even if they make it, they somehow corral themselves. It is looking like it's too late. He wants out. Trayvon Diggs. And I know I'm not trying to bring the whole Cowboys thing into this,
Oh,
but his brother's out here tweeting, get him out of there. You got to think that they talk a little bit. I mean, they are brothers. I don't
no
know.
way. Here we
I
go.
don't know, man. I'm not saying he's coming to Dallas. I'm not saying that. But I'm just saying,
Oh, yeah, no.
clearly he might not be happy if his brother is saying, get him out of there. Plus, Trayvon Diggs.
Josh wants that Cowboys.
I
He
mean,
wants
I
the
would take
Cowboys.
it, but I don't even think that that's necessarily the bigger storyline there. I think the biggest storyline is, I think if his brother's saying get him out of there, he clearly, I don't know. They
Something's
talk.
up.
There's got to be something up. I might be reading too deep into it, but hey, I will say one thing too. Trayvon,
I agree
can
with
calm
that.
down on the Josh Allen hate. I know he's saying, "Oh, my brother made him." Kind of. I mean, it's. I don't know. I mean, he said, "Don't forget
Oh,
how
yeah.
who Josh Allen was before." I mean, it's throwing a couple unneeded. We don't want any beef. We don't want any bulletin board material when we walk into Buffalo. So Trayvon, no, you're not playing, but cut it out. We're gonna take a quick pause just because we'll be back to the NFL. We'll have some more stuff. We'll get some quick little takes out here just because I had a couple people who wanted to hear our takes on this UFC card. We'll come back to we'll get you our Celtics and Bruins quick take. Then we'll get back to the recap. We'll get you our predictions as well. And don't you worry, Nelson. Just hold on tight. We'll get to Mac Jones. But Ben, I wanted to hear from you as well. I mean, I know you took that bet there with James. Just
Of course, you gotta
two
bring that one up
phenomenal
all.
finishes. I thought the main event finished a little early.
Oh, yeah.
I thought that fight was called a tiny bit early. I know recently we've kind of went back and forth on whether or not it's tough to be a ref in that decision, to be honest with you, because they've taken a lot of scrutiny on not calling it too early. It's tough, but clearly as a viewer in that moment, I thought the main event, he called it a little too early. Pereira wins, moves forward, and Tom Aspinall. I mean, hey, maybe this kid really is the real deal, Ben. You took him out in, I can't pronounce the other guy's name. It begins with a P, though. How do you say it?
Palpovich or Palpovich. I just
Yeah,
call him the
Palpovich,
Russian
or-
Bear.
The
He's like a
there you
Russian
go,
bear.
the Russian Bear. I know he was your boy. That was a big win. I know you didn't see that one coming, Ben.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, two quick ones, Josh. Like you mentioned, low early stoppage. That's been sort of the problem with UFC. I had the problem, but I don't want to say problem as you mentioned as well. You know, it's tough to call these fights. You know, some of these guys are getting beat pretty bad, and you know they make miraculous comebacks sometimes. But you know, it's just really tough, especially in a championship, one to just call it. You want that clear knockout. So this one's a little tough. You know, I would have liked, you know, to see a little more of it, but I think Pereira was in control. You know, I think ultimately he would have won. Those leg kicks were getting to Yuri pretty early, and I think he just looked overmatched. And just, I mean, Pereira's just a beast. Pereira should have been in this weight class. Thank God for the middleweight to get him out of there. You know, I think we're going to see a lot more competitiveness in the middleweight, but yeah, Pereira would just dominate right there. I think this is the perfect weight class for him, light heavyweight. You know, it's a little. I mean, only two fights in it. He's already the champion. I think that's a little fast. But I mean, hey, he did it. He won, so I gotta give him credit where it's due. And the other one, Aspinall. We gotta see Aspinall and John Jones next. That's gonna be. I know Jimmy's already talked about it, but I think that's the next card for that one. John Jones trying to reclaim it. Uh, well, he's technically already got it, but you know he's got to reclaim it from Aspinall technically. So I think Aspinall versus John Jones is really the main thing I got from this card, Josh. It's going to be a great fight. We got to get that set up because Aspinall he proved me wrong. I thought the Russian Bear was going to come in, knock him out, but I mean Aspinall's just so athletic for the heavyweight and can just wrestle. He can just pretty much do everything that John Jones can do. That's why John Jones has been so effective in his couple fights so far in the UFC. So at that heavyweight division. So I mean, Aspinall can match the wrestling. I'm excited to see that. Mackenzie Dern. It was sad to see her get knocked out. So shout out to Dern. Uh, but I mean, watch this name. Watch this name too, Josh. Benet Saint Denis. I don't want to butcher his first name. Benoit, I believe. I was going to see something else, but Benoit Saint Denis, he's going to be the next big thing out the middleweight division. Put on a nice little performance against Matt Pravola, a nice little leg kick. So I got to shout him out for that one. But I think the main thing with this one, Josh Aspinall versus John Jones, that's going to be the next thing. And so we got to find someone to fight Pereira.
Just to put a bow here, just to kind of preview a little bit though. Pretty good card, but I
Yeah.
have been more excited for this. It seems like every time we talk UFC, I'm always like on to the next card.
That's the next one.
But this UFC 296 is where it's at. You got Leon Edwards, two title fights here. We've got Leon Edwards against Colby Covington. That's going to be Colby Chaos. That's going to be a great one. We've got a flyweight championship match there. We've got Shavkat, Stephen Thompson, Tony Ferguson, and Paddy Pimblett. I didn't even know that till I checked. And then, of course, we've got the Ian Gary fight, the first fight on the actual card there. Prelims, Josh Emmett. I mean, that's a stacked card, Ben. I'm doing something for that. I'm going out with the guys. I know usually the past couple ones I haven't, but that's a big one. That's one we come out for. That's the one Josh comes out of hibernation for. Huge card. I'm excited for that one, Ben. But, I mean... yeah, I mean, I'm more excited for that than I was for 295. Obviously, the John Jones got pulled, and that kind of changed things. But I mean, I agree with you as well. I mean, let's see John Jones. Let's see John Jones and Tom Aspinall. Let's see it.
Yeah, it's like you just mentioned, Josh, a little tough when John Jones, pulls out, at that time, and they got to scramble to find these matchups. But I think they did a good job, and yeah, I gotta agree with you on that one. 296 is gonna be way better. This one, just hey, wanted to see if the Russian Bear could do anything, but Aspinall solidified himself and Pereira, the new champ. So I think this one answered some questions that everyone wanted to see, but I think 296 is really the big one. Everyone's gonna be watching. Like we got Josh out of hibernation. I'm pretty sure we're gonna get everyone else. Then we Patty the Batty. Let's see. That's just a really great one too. Patty the Batty versus Tony Ferguson. I mean, Patty got pretty exposed. You know, uh, last fight. So I'm going to be pretty excited to see him against Tony Ferguson, a vet. Big Vegas. Hey, Scooby's here. Welcome in, Scooby. Hey, what a big night in Vegas. Big night in Vegas, Scooby. Here he is. Big night in Vegas. Let's go, Scoobs. Come on.
Scooby back.
Yeah, but UFC, hey, 296. It's going to be great. Whole card's good. Josh Emmett fighting too. Let's just get to that one. The next fight night, it's all right. It's Brandon Allen versus Paul Craig. It's for the hard. It's for the hardcore people.
I can't pronounce his name. He's on one of the fight nights too. I mean, it's all right. I don't think he's on the next fight night. But
he's talking F1. Yeah. Sorry, Josh. But yeah, no, I wasn't even. That's the big controversy. Yeah, it's going to be at 1 a.m. I don't know if Scooby's going to be up for that one. I'm not even. Is he going to be up for this 1 a.m. race? A little weird race time for people are complaining about that in the F1 community.
Where is this? Where is it?
It's in Vegas.
Vegas at 1 a.m.
It's in Vegas at 1 a.m. Yeah.
Kind of got like the Fast and Furious drag racing feels. Like let's all get in the middle of the track at 1 a.m.
I'm pretty sure it is Scooby. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it is Scooby. You gotta double check that, but pretty sure it is now. Scooby saying it's not, but I gotta double check. Something's off with the time. There's a lot of people complaining about it. Ticket prices have been the lowest all year. I'm pretty sure it is Scooby. We gotta double check that, but maybe not 1 a.m. Maybe a little closer. I think they're just trying to match up with the other time zones. But I gotta double check that. But I'm pretty sure that's what I read. But I don't know. We'll double check that with Scooby.
It's for I mean, technically, it's. I just looked it up right now. Formula One, Las Vegas GP. I mean, I don't follow this at all, but this is going to be at the Las Vegas Street Circuit. In the date, technically, because it would be at 1 a.m. Sunday, November 19th, 1 a.m. Watch on ESPN. So Benny Boy might be right on that.
Scooby's about to have a big night in Vegas and not even be up for the race. He's going to have to keep going. Come on, Scooby, you're a party guy. Come on, he won't be up at 1 a.m. It's a little, like I said, just a little weird time for some of the, more loyal fans that, just like waking up to it. Some of these other weird times, it's kind of cool catching them in just different time zones, like when it's in other countries and you got to match up the time. It's cool watching it. It's going to be a little weird trying to match it up with the Vegas time, just staying up for it. But, it's going to be an interesting one. And Max Verstappen's pretty much already got everything, and Red Bull's already got it. So it's just for the sport now, Josh. It's for just trying to get people interested in the cool venues right now because the championship and winner's pretty much already decided. So not happy for me, but Ferrari did not have a good year, but it's all right.
Hey, there's always next year. Hopefully, this 1 a.m. start Ferrari can
Yeah, we get
compete
something.
decent in. I know nothing about it, so I'm not even going to pretend like
It's all
I
right. It's all right.
do. We've got Nick DeVos, a perfect segue here. We'll get a quick segue, and then we'll get back to Nelson because we definitely have to talk Patriots. I mean, there's a lot of stuff we got to get to. But Bruins scored 2 goals in 1 minute and 8 seconds. They are already up 2-0 against the Buffalo Sabres. I mean, this team right now. I know it was upsetting, and the Bruins had me tweeting on Saturday like, "Damn, we lost to the Canadians. I hate losing to the Habs. You never want to lose to them." But they right now are still killing it, Ben. They're first in the entire Atlantic Division. They are first in the entire Eastern Conference, and they are the best team in the National Hockey League right now. So every Bruins hater who is watching or anything of that, I don't know.
Anything of
I
that
didn't
nature.
have a finishing thing that was appropriate to say at the end of that, but we're 11-1-2. They're killing it. They've got a decent stretch coming up here. They've got they've got the Sabres, and then they come back with the Canadians at home. Then you've got the Lightning on the road, Panthers on the road, an emerging Red Wings team, and then a New York Rangers team on the road that Thanksgiving weekend. I mean, those are some tough
There you go.
matchups for the Bruins. I think that's going to be a real inkling of how good this Bruins team actually is this year. I mean, just
Sure.
between the Lightning, Panthers, Red Wings, and Rangers, those are all tough, tough games. And 3 out of 5 of the next matchups are all on the road. And those are Lightning, Panthers, and Rangers, who are teams that definitely have given us a hard time in the past. So Bruins right now killing it, Ben. If you turn over here, because I'm mixing the two together here because we like to go NFL heavy. But you look at the Celtics, big important matchup against the Sixers in Philly. You don't want to lose 2 in a row against Philly. Then they've got the in-season tournament on Friday against the Raptors. Should wipe the floor with that. Grizzlies as well. Hornets. I mean, they're besides the 76ers, their next 4 game road stretch, the Celtics should go. I mean, I expect them to go 4 out of 4 in these next 4. I'm a very optimistic Celtics fan, but Ben, I think the bigger question is, in one of James's big points that he's been alluding to, let's see if the Celtics can actually slow down Joel Embiid moving forward. That's been a big question. Let's see if we can slow him down tomorrow, and we can have anybody who can just give him a little bit of trouble tomorrow. But I expect to win tomorrow and the next 4 games by the time we come back.
It's been the really only problem with the 76ers throughout all these Celtics teams. There's just really no way to stop Embiid. Throw anybody on him, Horford, Williams, throughout the years, just any combination doubling him, even Smart sometimes, press him up front, well, at the top of the key and try to stop him like that. We just can't. He's just kind of our kryptonite. So it's like I said, it's a little early in the season, so I think we'll be able to. Here we go, Jimmy. I already need that big. I wouldn't mind adding a big at the deadline, but I think this is going to be a good litmus test for them as well. Jaylen Brown, like when I've been seeing from him ever since that tough Philly game, averaging 26 since that game. I like how he bounced back. He didn't look too good in that Philly game. I can't lie about that. He was not looking. He was looking like finals and clutch games. Jaylen Brown, he was not looking good in that Philly game. So good to see him bounce back and everything. And Payne Pritchard doing his thing over there. I know he always gets a little hate from everybody. Mixed crowd on Payne Pritchard, but like that. But yeah, as Jimmy said, need a big and just need a little more bench depth. I think just need to amplify that bench up. Amp it up a little more, and I think we'll be ready. But everyone's already crowned us. I don't like how they're already crowned us, Josh. Champs and finals for sure, and we're looking like the front
See it
runners.
to
I don't
believe
like
it.
that.
I like it. I
Yeah,
like it, Ben.
we got to see it to believe it. And just an off one too. I don't know about these courts, Josh. I know we wanted to go. I wanted to switch to a 360 one. I don't know about these in tournament
I
courts. A little too bright. I kind of like
I
the
don't mind
Celtics
them.
ones, but
Yeah,
I
me
don't know.
too.
Some of them a little too bright. I don't know. The Celtics kind of look like the Bucks for a second. They kept thinking they looked like the Bucks. I don't know. Some of the OKC was kind of a nice one, but I don't know, some of these other ones just a little too bright for me. It's a cool concept, but maybe it'll grow on me, but not right now. They gotta line it up a little.
That's fair. I mean, I will say one thing. I actually didn't even think about the Milwaukee Bucks thing. Last year, though, I don't. It was more aggravated with the seasonal jerseys that they had, the city jerseys, like the City Connect. I don't know, I didn't like it was too much like the Milwaukee Bucks, and I know everybody's gonna be like, oh, he's still stuck on that, but whatever. James coming in with some funny comments here. Ben, did you order Hood? I mean, he's just being a funny guy. And hey, I
No, I
mean,
didn't.
James saying this is our year. It better be our year because I agree with Tyler. I'm going to be gunning for the Celtics on this podcast. If they don't hoist that trophy this year, it'll be the same old tune, same old story we've been singing since 2008. But hey, I have faith. And I think it all comes down to one guy. And this is where I will give James credit and I will give Jerry his flowers. It all comes down to Kristaps Porzingis. If Kristaps Porzingis can be that X factor, just stay healthy, be a part of that big three, we have a chance to win it all.
Yeah, it's all about health with this team, and pretty plain and simple. I mean, it's sort of been the calling card for the Celtics these past couple of years, just trying to get to that next level and reach a championship. Pretty simple. We just gotta have the stars perform, and now we gotta have our guys stay a little healthy, especially with the guy like Porzingis, and well, even with Williams last year, with all these years. Time Lord, we just need him to stay healthy, and that's been a problem with our big man. And Porzingis takes a little more of a role, Rob, scoring and just his versatility and everything. So definitely need him healthy for the ride. Uh, Here we go. Yeah, there we go. Good
James
question,
is one
right?
of those. James is like a third. Like he doesn't even
Yeah,
need an
he doesn't
invite.
need
Let's
to
get
be
him on
here.
next week. Let's get
Yeah,
James on next week.
I'll pass,
Why
but
not? Oh,
maybe.
Ben doesn't want it. Maybe we'll switch it up. Maybe we'll bring like an interesting topic. We'll do something different next week. But yeah, James, well, the open
Yeah, well,
challenge is out there to come on next week. But yeah, just to put the
he's
Bruins and
busy.
Celtics in a wrap here. Both the teams combined only have 3 losses. I'll take it. Both the teams are killing him right now. Back to the NFL though, as James is in here. Oh yeah, second half bold predictions. Be cool for that. That'd be a good, cool little show. James said he's there for that, so we'll lock him in next week. But back, Nelson, if you're still there, we're talking Mac Jones. We're talking Patriots. I'm I'm gonna say it, and I know some people aren't gonna agree. I know that the New England Patriots have to. You don't want to be middle of the pack right now. You don't want to be 4-5 wins. I get that. You want to have a top 5 pick, if that top 3. Totally understandable. Take Mac Jones out though. Like it's just a waste of time. It's a waste of everybody's
There we
time.
go.
I don't know. Like what? I know everybody's gonna say, "What's the difference if Zappy comes in?" But just see what you have in something. Like even if you start Zappy, I mean, that's not saying he's going to bring them to the promised land, but I don't know. I get it, James. Yeah, definitely tank for May or tank for a nice quarterback like Caleb Williams. I got to do some more research on some of these other guys. I know a lot of names get floated around, but I don't know. They got to put someone else under center. I mean, that clearly has to happen. I mean, you've benched him 4 times since he's been drafted. I don't know. The era's done. It should be done. And I just want to say one thing as well, because I know this is going to be brought up in some capacity. I think the Bill Belichick era ends when Bill says it ends. I've kind of been going back and forth a little bit and trying to understand, like, the past is the past and also, Bill Belichick's legacy here. But I think it ends when it ends for him. And I know it's not his decision. It's kind of Robert Kraft's, but I think it should be, and I think it will be his decision, as James has mentioned. It'll be a mutual, kind of split for them too. And I don't think it's done for Bill Belichick. If this is his first real bad year, I know we've always talked about Popovich. We've talked about some other great coaches that we've given passes to. And I think it was you, Ben, who was one of the first people who was like, he shouldn't be done. He's earned his time. I don't think Bill should be done. I think he needs to make some adjustments to the way he thinks. And I think that'll happen. And I think it has slowly happened. But I don't think the Patriots should can Bill Belichick because of this year. I think that they should assess their draft, because it's not just doesn't all there are people who draft aside from Bill Belichick. I hope you guys do know that. Assess whoever the hell's drafting for you, and bring Bill Belichick back because he is the best coach in all of sports, in my opinion. And if you get a guy like Drake May, Caleb Williams, he'll coach him up great. Mac Jones just wasn't the fit. You need other talent around these guys who is gonna help out. I mean, it's you can't have Juju Smith-Schuster on bum knees and just Demario Pop Douglas out here thinking he's a number one. It's not gonna work. So go out, go get your quarterback, keep Bill Belichick there, and yeah, I mean, give it a whirl again. Kill it in free agency. You have a lot of money, but I think it's a little unfair to fire him. I don't know. It would have to be like a mutual thing. If he's also on the same side, he's like, I want to leave New England, then it's like, great. But I don't think that they should like completely move on from Bill Belichick. I know last week I kind of had a different tune, but I don't know. I think it's kind of unfair to pin it all on him, Ben. I think some of the players are accountable, and everybody thinks that it's just him who's drafting. We have other people who draft. I know for the Dallas Cowboys, it's Will McClay, who I like a lot, and I think is probably one of the most important players, important pieces to the Dallas Cowboys that people don't know about. He makes a lot of the calls. I know it's Jerry Jones too, and they have someone. I think Dylan said it's Matt Graw. I mean, that guy's got to go. If it's him, like they need to have somebody else. Rob, your Texans, that bet, it looks good right now. We're gonna switch over to our picks in a couple minutes. But yeah, Ben, I don't know. That's just my take. I want to throw that one out there because I've been hearing a lot of the Bill Belichick. I don't think he needs to go. I think he needs to go when he's ready to go. And I know that kind of sounds like ridiculous, but give him like an actual quarterback and let him change his ways a little bit, which I think he will. They'll be fine. Not fine, but we'll see. We'll see. He should not be done yet because I know I'm rambling, but you really think Gerard Mayo or Mike Vrabel's going to come in here and all of a sudden like revitalize everything and Bill Belichick can't? Like, I don't know. I just think it's wild to me that they're trying to push him out and they're going to have Gerard Mayo all of a sudden like, I don't know. That's just crazy. Crazy. Best coach of all time. It's wild.
I'm upset with this one. Yeah, no, I agree with Josh on that one. I think he gave me a little credit too in the beginning. I was one of the first people defending him. I defended Bill. Listen, I mean, win 6 Super Bowls, you gotta have a little leeway. In a couple bad seasons, this has been his first season with this record, I believe 2-8 since 2000. Year before he got Brady. So listen, it's been 23 years. It's been a pretty long time. I think we can give him a break, some slack. As we all could see, he's got Mac Jones. Mac Jones, I was willing to keep him around for another year. Maybe use this pick on a Marvin Harrison or offensive lineman that I can help out. That just offensive line that just isn't what it once was. But looking at it right now, I think you just got to take a quarterback. Got to take May. It's looking like Bears get 1 and 3. Giants are at 2 right now currently. You never know with the Giants. Daniel Jones looking awful. Guy can't stay on the field. You never know if I know they've signed him to obviously that huge contract. I'm probably going to stick with him. But you never know. I mean, if the Giants, keep playing this bad, and Daniel Jones just doesn't look, as healthy as a candidate as he once was, to be the starter for the foreseeable future. You never know. The Giants could throw a curveball at it. Just gotta be throwing that one out there, but. Jeff coming in there. Hey, might as well throw Malik Cunningham in there.
That's what I mean. Just throw somebody, Ben. I don't mean to cut you off, but just that's my only thing. Yeah. Just do something. I mean, you're tanking anyways. Just see what you got.
Yeah. You got me. Hey, listen, Josh saying they're tanking. Listen, I don't think they're tanking. I think they're just bad. They're just bad. Unfortunately, a little shot at the Patriots. I couldn't help it, but as Josh threw out there, I mean, Juju, Demario Douglas, Mike Gesicki, these guys aren't cutting it. Hunter Henry, these guys just aren't cutting it for this offense. Ramondre looked all right, but I mean, they're just gonna give Ramondre the ball too. 100 times. It's just not gonna work in this NFL. So time to move on from Mac. Just keep losing, get a higher draft pick. And I'd go probably Drake May over Caleb Williams. Probably not gonna get Caleb Williams, probably go Bears, but I'd probably go Drake May. I think he's pretty good. And Rob, I see all that one said Texans Bears bet is looking pretty good for you. Texans kind of just flipped a 360 on that one. Kind of just did everything. The Bears got a nice win over the Panthers. So Josh has got that and everything, but not looking too good for Josh in that one. Texans looking good, and we can't make fun of Josh too much for his upset. Got it. I got my wrong. I got my upset wrong. I gotta apologize for that. I thought they were the dogs in that one. It kind of makes sense. Technically, I was right. I said the Bucks were gonna win, but I did not realize the Bucks were favorites. I could have sworn they were dogs doing the research, but that's on me. Uh, so
They
I was
were at
we're
some
0 for
point.
2.
They were dogs at
Yeah,
some point.
yeah.
I
I
know
don't know. Who
it's
knows?
whatever.
Yeah, who knows?
He's not
That's
lying.
on me. That's on me. Rob's calling me out. Robbie Betts.
He,
Robbie Betts is holding me accountable. So uh, just keep Bill Max out. Uh, go get May. That's perfect. That's a perfect plan for them.
we've got Jeff saying Marvin Harrison, then Bo Nix later.
Ew,
Interesting.
no Bo Nix. Bo
Oh,
Nix
they
is too
hate the
old.
Bo Nix. They
It'll
hate
be
him.
another
I
Mac
like him. I
Jones.
think he's
It'll be
okay.
another Mac. He's
Wow.
basically Mac Jones again. Just another guy who stayed in college for a while. Uh, I think he's a little better than Mac, but no, you need somebody like a May or Williams. And I know Jimmy threw on Michael Penix. Yeah, I'd like to see a little more. I don't know, Penix. I just don't know about these Pac-12 quarterbacks. It's a transfer from Indiana. Pac-12, anybody can be a good quarterback. Defense isn't really played over there. You kind of just put up these crazy numbers. So I'd like to see him transition. I'd like to see how he transition in the NFL a little more. But Penix is a good athlete, good prospect too. But it's a deep class at quarterback, so you never know what the Patriots could do. Might do something a little crazy, but my vote for the Patriots, if I was a fan, go May. Drake May, I think, is going to be the next guy.
We've got Jeff. Oh, here we go.
Yeah, here we go. Yeah, Pac 12. There we go.
So
Jeff is smart.
are you not sold on Caleb Williams, or are
No,
you
I'm not
sold?
sold. No, I'm not sold on him. He's all right. Listen, he's gonna be good. He's gonna be a good prospect, but I like May better. I don't know. It's something about Caleb. I don't know.
Hmm.
I like Drake May. Drake May's got that I don't know, Mahomes factor. He can light it
Wow.
up. He's got those electric plays. Yeah. Listen, UNC was they got a little upset loss to Virginia, but they would have been right up there with Florida State this year, undefeated ACC team. Making a breakout year last year. He's having a good year this year. Just college football, these upsets happen sometimes, Josh. Sometimes you lose to Virginia, so tough one for UNC, but I like May over Caleb. I think it'll be good, but give me Drake May.
Hey, New England Patriots, if you're listening to Ben, he's had some good takes. I will always, that Tristan Wirfs, I will
Tristan
always
Wirfs.
say to
I
him.
sniped
I mean,
that
the
one.
guy, he sniped that one. He's probably one of the best
Easy. It's easy.
linemen in the league. We are going to start with some of our picks. We're going to start with my game here. The Dallas Cowboys going into Carolina to play the 1-8 Panthers, who, man, oh man, they are definitely wishing they drafted C.J. Stroud over Bryce Young. I'll keep it somewhat short and sweet. I think this is another game where I'm just gonna inflate my ego. Sorry, Ray. Shout out Ben's boy Ray there, but I think Dallas should win by 10 or more. I don't know. I shout out to Adam Thielen, and I think it'll start off kind of similar to the Giants game, where I think I don't know. I'm gonna say Dallas wins
Wow, it's going big.
27-10. It's kind of close in the beginning, but then just falls out there. I think our defense is going to give Bryce Young fits. I just think it's a terrible matchup for him. I know Dallas is a way better home team than they are a road team, and that's like not even close. They are very good at home. But I think the Panthers, I mean, the writing's on the wall right here, right on the bottom of our screen. They're 1-8. They're looking for another good draft pick. I got Dallas 27-13. Can this finally be the Tony Pollard bounce back game? I want to see more from him. Ben's shaking his head no. Rico
Dak. Give
Dowdle
me
looks
Dak.
better than him, but I mean, I'll take Dak too. I have Dak in fantasy as well, but as a Cowboys fan, as an enthusiast for our deep playoff runs, we need to establish some type of running game, and Tony Pollard needs to be more explosive. I'm calling you out, man. I know you broke your leg, but you should be catching your steam here. Dwodle's looked better. I mean, I'm not afraid to say that. That's a fact. And I don't know. I mean, it's weird. It's weird. Keep splitting the carries with these guys, but give Pollard some good stuff. I like that the Cowboys, in the moment in games, I get absolutely friggin' pissed when they run the ball all the time, and I'm like, what the hell? It's not working. But they're not trying to abandon it completely. They're trying to get it going. They're trying to get the RPOs going. That's when Dak feels most comfortable, and they can open up the field. Then it opens up the option for him to run. But I'll say Dallas wins this one 27-10. kind of close in the beginning, and then it just kind of falls out. Dallas does what they do. They beat up on bad teams. And yeah, I'll take Dak Prescott. I'll say the stat line: 2 touchdowns. 2 touchdowns, over 250 yards. CeeDee Lamb, just under 100 yards.
I like that. I like that. Give me a little more stats for Dak. I need a little more. I'd like the 5 touchdown one, for fantasy implications. That's nice one. I like that. When he was beating up on the Giants this past week, that was pretty good from Dak. But as Josh mentioned, earlier on the show, am I going to give him? Is he going to give that a real win against that Giants team? I'm going to give the Cowboys half a win in that one. They had to come in there, but that Giants team is just in disarray. They just are awful. Dak picked them apart. That's a great game for Dak to get his confidence. He's already had a nice little stretch right here since the Chargers game. Getting back on track, after that 49ers game, it was pretty rough for him. I believe they got the bye. Then he had the Chargers game, got back on track, and now he's had a good little 4-game stretch right here, and just capitalizing on this Carolina team. Just Josh just said, the Cowboys love being up on bad teams. Steelers always play down to their opponents, so good for the Cowboys right here. You just got to beat up on these bad teams. You can't play down to them if you're going to be one of these elite teams, and they don't. They haven't been this year so far. They've been winning the games they have to, so I think the Cowboys just get it done again. I'll go 30-13. It's going to be a little different. I actually kind of won 27-10, but Josh took that one. But yeah, I think, as Josh mentioned, a little close in the beginning, like the Giants won, Panthers, a little stingy defense. They got good pieces over there, especially at home. They'll keep it a little close in the beginning, but I think the Cowboys just run away. And yeah, obviously, I was yelling about Tony Pollard just in jest, but yeah, if the Cowboys really want to make a deep run, they got to figure out what's going on with him. Because no offense to Rico Dowell, or if I'm saying that right or whatever, but you need Tony Pollard in this offense.
100%.
Yeah, you need him fully in. I love having the dynamic both backs. I love having go back and forth between them. But yeah, you need Tony Pollard. I don't know what's going on with him. Like he keeps mentioning, I love it for Dak in fantasy, but as Cowboys fans, I'd like to see a little more balance in that offense. Help Dak when he eventually cools off. They do seem cooling off a little, but going good for the Cowboys right now. Just beat up on these bad teams and keep collecting the wins. Try to just keep pace with Philly. I don't think they'll get the division, but just get a high seed in the playoffs and just go from there. Let's go. I want to say let's go Cowboys, but let's go Dak.
Both sound good to me. We've got 2 teams that it's just like the Spider-Man pointing at each other. We've got Ben's Pittsburgh Steelers, the Cleveland Browns, who shocked the world against the Baltimore Ravens. I'm going to go quick because I really want to hear Ben's analysis on his Steelers and just for this game. Just both quarterbacks are just super inconsistent. Both defenses are just elite. Great receiving core for both teams. Pretty solid running backs. They lost Nick Chubb for the Browns, so again, they're kind of trying to figure out their running game. 2 tight end, like Njoku finally getting going. You got Pat Fryman. I don't know. I like the Browns in this one. I like that the Steelers have been winning games. Again, we talk about beating up on bad teams or just winning games that they have to win. Somehow the Steelers get net gained in every single category. Like they
still win.
But they still win. They're still doing it. Again, I guess as Jared says, a 17 effect, maybe the Mike Tomlin effect. I'm going to say the Browns win a very nitty-gritty one, 17-10. I have to see Kenny Pickett go in there and really, really play well. And I think Deshaun Watson's a little bit better than Kenny Pickett. That's why I lean towards him. Obviously, home field plays a factor. I'm going to say it's a dogfight, a legit dogfight, no pun intended there. 17-10. And I want the Steelers in this one, Ben. I'm rooting for you guys, but I can't see. I don't see it. I see the Browns in a close one. 17-10. Good defensive game here.
Yeah, it's unfortunate. Well, everyone knows once they pick against them, the Steelers win, but kind of been debunked throughout the whole year. It's kind of just whatever, but I got to go Browns in this one. I'm going Browns. Tough. The last part Josh said summed it up. It's at home. It's the dog pound. I know. I think we split it this year between these two teams. Just very similar, just elite defenses and just offenses that make you scratch your head at times. Deshaun just still coming back, from that long absence, and just he just still doesn't look good at times. Just very injury prone. And everyone knows Kenny's problems. Kenny just sometimes, just I don't know what he's doing sometimes, but he always finds his way at the end somehow, some way. Always win it. But I think just the luck with that kind of runs out with this one. I think the Browns just have too elite of a defense. Garrett, Denzel Ward, that secondary finally starting to pay off right now. Del Pitt over there, the safety position. I mean, that defense is just stacked, loaded, very scary defense right now. I just don't think I think their offense is going to make a couple more plays than ours. Um, that home field advantage is going to be big. And I think, unfortunately, the Browns get this one. They loved what the Steelers did last week, and it was just another nitty gritty win. Packers, it's always got to be something. Always got to be a last drive for the other team, just to be holding the breath, or all of us fans holding this breath, and just waiting to see if we blow it or not. And we haven't blown it in a while, so I think it's going to come. I think what comes to an end right now, Josh. Unfortunately, very close game. It's going to be competitive. Going to be one of the best games on the docket, but I think Deshaun just makes a couple more plays. Cooper looking good too, as Josh mentioned. Njoku coming in form, but Cooper finding that rhythm with Deshaun again. And I think like Jerome Ford. I mean, I think they're just going to get a couple more plays than us. Uh, there we go. That's not true, Jeff. That is not true. Saying he might be the only quarterback less exciting than Mac Jones. That's not true. Uh, but I digress. But I'll go. I don't want to be. I'll be different than Josh. 2013, a close game. But Browns sneak it out. And we gotta get it back at home. We'll get it back at home, but I think they get this one at their place.
I mean, hey, I thought for some reason this was the second game, but maybe you're right. Yeah, I think you're right on that one. You're right on that one.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
believe this is. I believe this first one.
and I would agree. I think that's a series you're probably going to split again. Just two inconsistent, weird teams. I mean, inconsistent in terms of just the quarterback play and the offense can be very weird. I'm going to go with my lock of the week. I'm going to make it nice, short and sweet here. The Miami Dolphins off a bye. This like whole interim coach thing for the Raiders, it's cute. The Ian O'Connell, I don't know what. Like I was talking to James earlier today. Like they're not even like starting Jimmy Garoppolo. They're better than they should be right now. The Raiders at 5-5. Like it's really weird. I think the Dolphins are just gonna tee off. Fresh legs. This is what the Dolphins do. They beat up on these type of teams. I'll say 34-17 Dolphins win. Tua has a big game. Jalen Waddle, 2 touchdowns. And again, I like Max Crosby, but again, he can't be a one-man band. He can't be a one-trick pony and do it all himself. Phenomenal player, has really excelled in all different ways. But again, aside from him, there's not many guys on that defense who scare me at all. I think their secondary is going to get... That's a tough matchup against the Dolphins. I think the Dolphins actually have a sneaky decent defense. They're starting to slowly pick apart some teams and come together here. Yeah, I mean, I'll say Dolphins 34-17. They win this one. That's my lock of the week.
Okay, and I was wrong, Josh. They did beat the Browns week 2. That's what I was meaning on that one. Yeah, they already beat the Browns, so that's what I meant to be about the splits. So it's on me. That's on me. But yeah, for my lock, let's go with Jags. Jags over the Titans. Uh, yeah, that's Jags over. Yeah, Jags over Titans. Easy one for me. Just want to make sure on that one. Jags a big bounce back one. Just get embarrassed, as I mentioned earlier in the show, by the 49ers. Uh, they think it's a perfect opponent. Tennessee just a nice little start with Will Levis, but kind of coming back down to earth with this offense. Offense not the best right now, so I think Will Levis is going to be good for them going down the line, but offense just kind of stagnant right now. I think Jags need a bounce back game. I think Christian Kirk's gonna have a big game over here.
I'm just laughing at Jeff.
Jeff loving the Titans. Yeah, he loves the Titans. I don't know why he loves the Titans in that one. It's a good dog, I guess. I don't know. But I think the Jags get a nice big bounce back. Big bounce back win over here. Trevor Lawrence too good for what he showed last week. I know they say Jones, so maybe a little more Christian Kirk. Yeah, I know he fumbled it, but I think a little more Christian Kirk involved. Calvin Ridley, Travis Etienne have a bounce back game. Get the Jags flowing again. Because they gotta watch out. They need this game. They got the Colts, Texans right behind them, as we mentioned earlier in the show. 5-5, looking good. Uh, both picking up wins this past week. So, but I think the Jags get this one, Josh. Nice easy lock over the Titans.
That's funny. It's funny. I could see what Jeff's saying. Like, this is a classic Mike Vrabel win for no reason game. I mean, they do weird things like that. The Titans. It's not wrong on that. I'm gonna go with my upset here. I have two of them, and I just want to say one before I actually show you mine. I think that if Matt Stafford plays, I think that they could beat the Seahawks. I'm not totally convinced on the Seahawks. That's one to kind of keep an eye out for an upset. I don't know. I like the Rams are at home. Seahawks are a weird team that just, again, it's kind of like, what are they? Like, are they going to get into a wild card? The Niners clearly, I think, are going to win that division. But, like, they're just a weird team. But aside from that, maybe it's the story. Maybe it's the Fox News. Maybe it's the former, I don't know, the former Steeler, the former NASA. Like, I don't know what it is. But I'm pounding the alarm. The Vikings and Joshua Dobbs are going into Denver, who they're feeling good. They just beat up on the Bills. Not beat up on the Bills, but they just beat the Bills. They got a big win there. I think the Vikings are going to go in there, and they're not going to know what to do, the Broncos. I like Joshua Dobbs, adds two sides of the ball here. He's making things happen with his legs. He's making things happen with his arm as well. I think you're slowly starting to see Alexander Madison get going. Jettas is slated to come back during this game as well. Justin Jefferson, for the people who don't know his name, because apparently I guess some people don't. Whenever I say Jettas, they get confused. But I like the Vikings in this one. 7-4. They could win that division over there. I mean, they're probably going to. We all thought, hey,
Lions
maybe it might be. Oh yeah, the Lions too. I forgot about the Lions. Hey, they could maybe they can make things a little interesting over there with the Lions. I don't know. Another team that I'm not fully sold on for some reason, but I like the Vikings in this one. Nice little upset alert.
I like that one plus 110 right there. It's nice, a juicy one. I don't know why the Broncos are favored. A nice little win over there, but I mean, I'd hit that one. I like this Vikings team with Dobbs over there, leading the charge. I even known the offensive linemen's names, and I went in two games with them. Shout out Dobbs. I wish we still had him. Maybe a little backup time, but I digress. Go my upset. We're gonna start off Thursday night, Josh. Little one. No, yeah, yeah. Thanks. Yeah, I don't know how either, Jeff. I misread that from Jeff on that one. That's a little strange from Vegas with the Vikings one, but I'm going to go with the Bengals. Bengals over the Ravens. Thursday night football. Going to be classic. We got some classic AFC North battles on the docket this week. Start off your football week with this one. I think Joe Burrow, another just one really tough loss against the Texans. Make that huge comeback and just fall short at home. Need this one. Ravens prove they got some weaknesses, holding some leads. They always blow big games. I think the Bengals get this one. This wide receiver core always tends to take advantage of the secondary. Jamar Chase always has a big day. T. Higgins too. So I'm leaning towards the Bengals in this one. Plus 162. I gotta say that to Rob so Rob doesn't call me out, but I got the Bengals with this upset, Josh. There's a couple of other ones, on this docket that I like too, but it could be an upset week for people. But I like the Bengals get back on track big time in this one. Help us out too. Hey, how about the Steelers? Let's get everybody a little more closer in the AFC North.
I don't hate that one. I mean, Joe Burrow and company, they're, again, a lot of these teams, they're hovering around 500 there with the Bills. I know that they have the tiebreaker over them, but these are games in that division. You don't want to fall down too far. Cleveland, you got the Steelers as well. I mean, imagine all four teams made the playoffs. That'd be wild. I don't hate that one. I like the Ravens in that one, but that's just because they're at home. But, I mean, hey, it could be a game we're pounding the alarm. As always, I want to thank everybody for tuning in. Shout out Scooby for coming back with the F1 take,
Movie.
and then he takes off. That's cool. I love it.
I love it, Scoob.
Shout out Nelson. Shout out Nick. Shout out Rob. Shout out James. Shout out Jeff. Shout out everybody who commented in the chat. And for the people who weren't commenting but were watching, we thank you guys as always. I'm going to turn it over to Ben to wrap up our show.
Thanks as always, guys. Appreciate everybody. Yeah, Scooby. Hopefully, Scooby stays up for that 1 a.m. F1 one. I'm glad I told him it was at 1 a.m. I'm glad he wasn't just up all night waiting for a fight to go on, the race to go on. Excuse me. So glad I saved Scooby on that one. But keep it short and sweet, Josh. You know, Cowboys roll, Steelers lose, Pats tank for me.